Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Here's today's question. Given that you had been in the real estate space for 15, 20 years by the time you made the transition, I think it was probably pretty easy for brokers to see your credibility and understand that you were serious about your properties. But how about somebody that's relatively new, has a couple properties or maybe 10, 15, 20 units in the residential side, and they're trying to make that transition to commercial and they don't have that backing? How can they show brokers that they're serious and that they really have credibility in purchasing those properties?
I think one thing is don't be afraid to start small. So, like some of the first commercial deals I bought were $100,000 when I couldn't buy a house for less than 200, which is, one bonus there. But the other bonus is, the commercial game is so different. And it is tough to get agents to take you serious if you've never invested in commercial real estate, even if you have a bunch of residential properties. And if you just have one commercial property, that kind of like lights the light in their head, like, oh, okay, maybe he does know what he's doing. He might be serious. He's done this before. Even in residential, you see so many investors who want to invest who never do. And so people won't take you serious. So it's really just getting that one deal or, being willing to put up a little more earnest money, being willing to waive some of those, contingencies can help. But with commercial deals, especially bigger ones, I don't recommend that very often because it can be so complicated.
Yeah, be careful with the contingencies, but it definitely is a good way. And I think when you're having conversations with brokers, just make sure you know what you're talking about. Use the right lingo, just show that you know what you're talking about. And I think that goes a long way for building that relationship and building your credibility.
In a meeting to buy this big property, the brokers kept mentioning TI. I had no clue what it meant. And my partner was with me and he's like, what's TI? And I'm like, I think it's taxes and insurance, right? Like PITI. It's like, oh, okay. And then, a couple days later, the brokers mentioned it again. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it means tenant improvements. I had no idea what I was talking about. And so, knowing cap rates, knowing what those acronyms mean, tenant improvements, triple net leases, gross leases, just knowing some of those, it goes a long way. It's a great suggestion.
That's all for this episode of Real Estate Investing Explained. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to get even more free content.